Key question, what did AJ do wrong in that fight? Why didn't he just walk through him as you'd anticipated? Obviously Usyk was better than we expected, but what did AJ do wrong?
Usyk was just the better man, I don't know how training camp went. Now that I talked to Fernandez, tells me that a lot of things went wrong. But now I'm in training camp now. Now I'm doing what my job to switch things around, to make sure Anthony goes in there and dominates, has a dominant performance. That's what he needs to be able to win this fight.
What tools do you need?
Those are the words of Roberto Garcia as you heard him, he spoke to Fernandez, and Fernandez told him, now everyone knows that a lot of things went wrong in training camp for their first fight. And that's not a surprise to me, because when you have Anthony Joshua asking someone outside the circle of the people that he paid to train him for this fight, and he asked him, how do I beat this particular guy? Something's wrong. Okay, counterpunch. Okay, and a lot of things are, his camp, his circle, they're like a well-oiled machine, so some things don't leak, unless he got hurt, like he was hurt or had a concussion or whatever. Of course, things like that has to get out to some shape, form, or fashion. But in this case, where you have any type of drama in the training camp, a lot of those things get swept under the rug, and you really don't hear anything about it until the worst thing happens. You get defeated, and he got defeated by Alexander Usyk that day in September. And Roberto Garcia had to replace Rob McCracken for a reason. Okay, and obviously that tells you that if he had a lot of problems in training camp, which he didn't specify, so we can't speculate, but if those things happen, okay, and he had problems, obviously someone has to pay for those problems. Someone was at fault for those problems that he had, okay? Because if the fighter's not injured, that means that the coach or the trainer or the head coach or trainer is at fault by default, okay? Because if the question you ask yourself is, who's still there? Who was there before? McCracken, then Fernandez, right? Angel Fernandez was there and Rob McCracken. Who's not there now? Rob McCracken. Rob McCracken's gone. He sacked McCracken. Now we have Roberto Garcia. So there you go. So a lot of the problems probably spent around Rob McCracken. Okay, so that had to be a reason why they replaced McCracken. Either he didn't have enough time to spend with AJ, or there wasn't enough one-on-one, he wasn't doing enough. And then the thing is, it's like, okay, what am I paying you for if you're not getting the job done? Okay. You got to say more than brilliant AJ and this, that, and the other, because that's disarming. You're manipulating your fighter into thinking that your fighter is winning this fight by saying stuff like that. And one thing I can say about Roberto Garcia is going to get in that ass. He's not going to be playing with Anthony. So if Usyk gets in there his fourth or fifth round and Usyk's opening up a can of whoop ass using those pivots and that footwork on him like he knows to do, Roberto Garcia is going to go in there and he's going to show Anthony Joshua, like, this is what you need to do, and I'm not bullshitting you. Bars. Okay, that's what's going to happen. And I could see, because I've seen Roberto Garcia do that. He did that to Maidana. He did that to a lot of fighters that's been in his camp. He did that to Brandon Rios. He did that. He was the one like, hey, you got to get your ass in there and do it. You got to do it. He's going to be in AJ's face. And probably AJ needs to get mad. Needs to get mean. Okay? So I think that's what this factor is. I think, he needs someone like Robert Garcia that's going to go in there and show him what's what. Okay? So I think that element may be beneficial to AJ. Because, see, the thing that motivated AJ with Andy Ruiz started talking shit. He turned from good guy to asshole overnight. To biggest. Right? So when you had that motivated Anthony Joshua, because he's like, I gave this kid an opportunity. We didn't have to fight this guy. But now I fought this guy. Now he's talking all kind of cash money shit. So now that's fueled AJ. Like, okay, I got you. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to hurt you. Then he split his eye open first round. There you go. Those type of things. even though he played it safe, but he had a fire under his belly because of what Andy Ruiz was saying. Alexander Usyk's not doing that. He's not going in there and talking big bad shit. He's not going in there saying something that he ain't said before. He's not talking out of character. He's not doing this. The only frustration I see in Alexander Usyk, only resistance, is the war that's going on, and something he can't do nothing about. That's the only thing that I see that's different. Okay, so when we're dealing with Alexander Usyk, he doesn't get AJ, I think, mad enough naturally, okay, to go in there and become someone else or whatever. Okay, so maybe Robert Garcia might add that plus whatever his game plan is, since, quote unquote, he didn't have a game plan. Okay, but anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Robert Garcia admitting that the previous camp of Anthony Joshua had many problems. Tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.